Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart. 8 fragrances that stop women in their tracks. It is a hard thing to do, especially if you don't know the person, but it can be done. And if it is done, it's one of those things where you'll be talking about it for weeks. How do I know? Because I've had 2 people contact me on my comments section, and both of those comments were like really long and detailed because people were like really happy about it. It's a rare occurrence when somebody you don't know comes up to you and goes, wow, you smell really good. That's cool. That will make your day or maybe your week. I mean, that's a neat thing. So it can be done, but you need the right kind of fragrance in order to do it. To me, the best formula would be something bold and strong, a little bit outside the norm, a little bit different, a little bit interesting. That way, if it, really tweaks a woman, they're like, wow, what is that? You want them thinking, but yeah, this can work. And if it does, you're laughing. Fragrance number 1, this is a Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privée. And if you like whiskey, or if you like iris, or if you like sweet fragrances, you will like this. You could like any of those things in isolation, and you will like this. This is an absolute brilliant fragrance. I know because I had to trade CH Men Privée, a discontinued expensive bottle, in order to get this. That's how much I like it. Now, some people get chocolate. For me, for some reason, I pick up a toffee feel. And I don't get as much iris from this. It's there, but I don't get as much from it as I do from the other Givenchy Gentleman fragrances, perhaps because there's so much going on here. The booze, the amber, the chestnut. It's, oh man, that smells so good. And it's really strong too. So yeah, I could definitely see people stopping you on the street with this. Fragrance number 2, I think, is probably the single best candidate to get attraction from a woman that doesn't know you. It is Layton by Parfums de Marly. And the reason I say that is because Layton has a very distinct, unique footprint that it's almost like a little bit gender bending. It's a unisex fragrance. And I find that a lot of people that talk about Layton online, they'll talk about the cardamom, the vanilla, they'll talk about the apple, all the things that are popular in men's fragrances, but they never talk about the violet and the jasmine, the unisex aspect of it. But that's what makes it unique. That's what makes it fantastic. So I think with the right kind of person, the right kind of woman will go absolutely crazy if she smelled this on a guy. And yeah, it's super strong too. It lasts a long time. So yeah, the perfect combination, I think, for getting unsolicited compliments. Fragrance number 3, this is Polo Red Intense. And as much as I love Polo Red, if you're like trying to get compliments from people you don't know, or just, on the street, you do need a little bit more power. And I get 6 hours with this. I only get about 3.5 with Polo Red. I've only tried it twice, but it doesn't last as long. But that DNA, whether it's this or Polo Red, that cranberry, coffee, and amber DNA is just so cool. Such a strange mix. Yeah, so I don't want to seem like I'm bashing Polo Red because it's not Polo Blue, but Polo Red Intense would probably work a lot better. As I said, 6 hours and at least an hour projection. When I first got this, I thought of this as a clubbing fragrance. I actually had this in my clubbing fragrance video on my old channel. Fragrance number 4, this is Terre, and this is a fragrance that somebody on the channel talked about and got an unsolicited compliment from. And they were at a party wearing a leather jacket and wearing this, and the woman said he smelled interesting. Now, that's exactly what you want if you're talking to a woman. That's a really good sign. And this is interesting. Either whether you're wearing a leather jacket or wearing a suit or tie, this is underrated for attracting women. It's just the right kind of woman. Again, kind of a little bit like Layton. Clémence from CC Clémence on her YouTube channel She really, really likes men wearing Terre.
In today's video, I'm pretty excited because we're talking about one of my favorite fragrances and one of the fragrances that I think I would always love on a man, on a woman, on everyone. And for me, it's a timeless classic. So whatever people say about like, oh, it's a bit mainstream, like everybody wears it, I'm like, well, it's still very classy and elegant, and I think, yeah, one of the...
And so, yeah, it's more about like a sophisticated, stylish kind of woman, maybe a little bit on the wealthy side as well. Someone that likes the finer things in life. They'll love that burnt orange and vetiver. And the odd thing about this, at least for me, I don't know if anyone else has this thing, but this performs like an absolute monster on my skin, even though it's an eau de toilette. I can smell myself for like 2.5 hours after I spray it on. Very, very strong on my skin. So, yeah, it'll work. Next up, we have Guerlain L'Homme Ultime Eau de Toilette. And I'm getting the EDP. I've ordered it. But I don't understand why people don't like this one more. It's an almond, leather, and vanilla fragrance. Very, very sweet. So especially if you're dealing with a cold weather situation, this one works really well. And for an EDT, the performance is insane. I get at least an hour and a half with this. And, you know, it works great in the cold weather. That's when I usually wear this. The colder, the better, because it is very, very sweet. But, yeah, I don't see people talking about it much. And I think it's a shame. Next up, we have Valentino Uomo Intense. I don't think this will be a surprise to anyone. It is very powerful, vanilla, leather, and iris, but it's also very sweet and very irisy. And yeah, you'll be noticed. You'll smell a little bit different. The iris in this is great. And again, though, because of the sweetness, you're talking about colder weather would be better for getting a reaction. I'm just thinking of like a snowy day in February at a bookstore or something like that. Yeah. Plotting out my next, I'm plotting out my next outing. And it'll be with this guy. Something very, very different. This is Rasasi's La Yuqawam. And this is a very masculine fragrance. It's very similar to Tuscan leather. Most people can't tell the difference. I can't either, really. It's got raspberry in it, though, that really does help a little bit. But this is a very dark leather fragrance. Super pungent. Lasts really long time. Man, that's so much better than I remember. I will be getting a bottle of this at some point. And this, again, it'll attract a specific type of person. And that type of person, if a woman likes this, they like masculine men. This is an unadulterated masculine fragrance. Yeah, I suppose some women will wear it. But yeah, I just think it's just a very strong, powerful, and a little bit dark. So yeah, Rasasi went up in my eyes once I smelled that. Finally, we have YSL L'Homme Ultime. And this is also a little bit like Layton, a little gender bending in that in order to subdue the heavy amounts of ginger in this, and that's what the Ultime means. It means the ultimate ginger, because this is a ginger line. In order to subdue all that ginger, they had to compensate with a powdery rose. And so the ginger is not overwhelming, but that rose does give it a little bit of a feminine air, but it's also quite intriguing. The performance here is really, really good for something so powdery. Normally, powdery fragrances don't perform well for me, but I get, 5 or 6 hours with this, no problem, and a fair bit of projection. But yeah, especially, again, a classy girl, someone's a little bit outside the norm. You're not going to smell like everybody else wearing L'Homme Ultime, and that's what you need in order to attract attention in public. Anyway, yeah, I can't wait to share my first experience of getting an unsolicited compliment, and please shoot me an email or mention it in the comments. I love hearing stories like that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.